Today's guest has helped provide outstanding opportunities for adaptive athletes with the Minot Dream Catchers. Joining me now, it's Michelle Bliven. You've seen her everywhere with the Minot Dream Catchers and hanging out with her son Aaron at every game around Minot that they can get to. Michelle, before we get into this Dream Catcher stuff and all the games that you guys like to see, first off, you got your position as an educator. Fill me in on what you're up to right now and what made you want to start in this career field.
Sure. I'm figured it out. I think I'm in about my 35th year of teaching.
Mm-hmm.
I originally started in math. I was kind of a math nerd. I don't know. Math wasn't easy for me, but I loved it. And so I think that helps me when I teach, because then I know what it's like not to get it. So I've done that. And then that was about 19 years. Then I also have a Phi-Ed major, and so I thought, I got to try that out. I've got the major, I might as well try it. So then I went into Phi-Ed, and I loved it. It was fun, but I missed the math. So then I ended up going back to math. I went down to the alternative school, taught there for 5-6 years, and now I'm currently the homebound educator for Minot Public Schools. And what that means is if a student is unable to attend school for maybe medical reasons or giving birth, things like that, and they can't attend school, I go into their home and I help them with their work, which is, I think, really rewarding. I've loved doing that. This year now with the COVID, it's a little bit different. If a student is homebound, they just have the student do distance learning. So that kind of eliminated my job for the year. So this year I've been doing a little bit of everything. I've taught anywhere from kindergarten, preschool handicapped, all the way up to 9th, 10th grade at Center Campus. So I have been everywhere.
What's it like preparing to teach a class versus just one person in that setting?
I guess, I don't know. I guess when you're teaching a whole class, there's a little bit more preparation for instruction and how you're going to get the ideas across. Whereas homebound, when I go into the home, they already have all their teachers. I go into the home and I just help them with the work that they have for that teacher. So there's not so much preparing, but what I really love about it is you get to know the students really well. You get to know their families, and I guess personally I like that. I like to get to know people, where they come from, how they learn. It just helps, and you develop a really good relationship with them.
How do you define like a successful school year for a student? I mean, what's your role in that? I mean, what do you want to see these kids get out of taking your courses?
I'd like to see success. I know a lot of kids go into school and into math and say, I hate math. And by the end of the year, my goal was to make them love math. It's not as hard as you think it is. You can do this. We can get through it. So that's kind of my goal. The other thing I like to do is I like to try to develop the person as a whole. Try to develop problem-solving skills, soft skills that they're going to use when they get out into the real world and they go to look for a job. They need to be a team player, get along with others. They need to be motivated, driven, those types of things, and I like to include that in my teaching.
When did you guys get the Minot Dream Catchers rolling?
That was back in 2003 was our first year. The reason I started it is I coached Aaron and his brother in T-ball. And I did that for a few years. And then Aaron should have went up to the next league, but they would have to pitch. And Aaron is unable to hold the bat, unable to swing. And they just thought it would be too much of a safety hazard for not only him, but for other kids if he was rolling around in his wheelchair or whatnot. So he spent a year not playing, and we were sitting at the table, and it was like, I know he missed it. Mm-hmm. And it was like, wow, what can we do so that he can do the same things other kids can do? And that's where the idea of We all loved baseball. And so we got going and started brainstorming and thought, there's no reason why he can't play baseball. And so Dream Catchers began with 13 players. And the way we did it is each child would get to, however many kids came, we just split them into 2 teams. And then as they batted, they would run a base at a time. And then they would run in and score a home run, of course. So that was exciting. And if they're in the field, it was helping them pick up the ball, helping them throw the ball to the right base. And it ended up turning out really well, and it just grew and grew and grew. And now we did not play this last summer. I was too afraid of COVID. Those kids are so medically fragile that it's I didn't want to take the chance. Mm-hmm. But we are up to, I'd say, about over 80 players now that are playing in Dream Catchers. And the neat part about that is it's not just kids that come from Minot. We have kids as far as Williston, which is a good 2 hours away. Williston, Botno, Garrison, Towner. They come from all over, and they come to play a game that might last half hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour, once a week. So it's quite a commitment that some of these families make. And it's because there isn't anything out there like this, that they're willing to travel that distance so that their child can feel like, I can do something. I can play. And nothing's going to hold them back. And to be at a Dream Catchers game it's really hard to describe. You see these kids that have so many medical needs, and they're nothing but smiles. And I don't know, it's priceless. I said it's almost like heaven on earth to me to see these kids play. And what we also do is, like, Aaron is in a wheelchair, and so he can't catch the ball, he can't throw the ball. So what we've done is we've gotten buddies to help each child play the game. And that buddy does the things that I said. They help them hold the bat, help them hit the ball, push him to run from base to base. When he's out in the field, the buddy keeps him safe, helps him throw the ball, to a base. So we've been really fortunate to have the community of Minot pitch in and be willing to help us out. They come once and be a buddy, and you'll see their faces again and again because they love it so much. The types of buddies that we get are businesses, Brokers 12, Buffalo Wild Wings, and we get individual teams. Like for high school, we'll get, I've gotten, our Redeemers and Bishop Bryan and Minot High School and Minot State University. They get people together and they volunteer one night to be a buddy.
That's awesome.
And I'm rambling on and on and on.
Did you know that a lot of families that had adaptive athletes before you started Dream Catchers, did you know a lot more than just the 13 players, or have people just really come out for this and you get to know them that way?
Yeah, people have just come out, and we've gotten to know that. I do put out a little flyer to encourage people to sign up, but most of it now is word of mouth. And I do have a Facebook page, and I do my registrations on that Facebook page. So if anybody's interested in playing or in helping, it's Dream Catchers Baseball.
So the consistent fundamental event of Dream Catchers is the baseball, where you have it up at the South Hill mostly with that nice little field you have there. What other sport opportunities have you guys thought of over the years?
Well, there's been a lot of people wanting to do bowling, but Special Olympics does that. Special Olympics does basketball, but there is a new program in Minot now. What is that program, Bill? Like
Prairie Grit folks?
Thank you, Prairie Grit. And they are really getting into just about everything and anything you can think of, fishing to gymnastics to rock climbing. So they've really got a good program going. The difference between their program and our program is our kids are a little bit more involved than the Prairie Grit ones are. Those kids are able to actually, like I said, climb walls, and they're a little bit more mobile than our kids. So there isn't a lot of overlap between the two. There is some. But yeah, in the years since 2003, we have built ourselves an amazing complex up at Southfield Complex. We have a field that is made out of recycled tires. And so there is no grass, there is no dirt or anything. It is a flat surface, kind of a rubbery surface, makes it very easy for kids in wheelchairs to roll around the bases. Safety, if a child ends up falling, they're not going to get scraped up. So it's a beautiful complex. And then once we got the field done, we've put in a bathroom, a shed, a playground. There's a handicap accessible swing up there. So we've really, really improved the area, picnic area. It's just a beautiful place for kids to come and play. And after the games, not only is it important for the players to be able to have a little bit independence, it's important for the parents to be able to have a little bit of independence from their child. It's nice to go to a baseball game and be able to actually watch the game instead of having to help your child take part in the game. Just like any other sport, parents go, they like to watch, cheer for their kids. So not only the kids benefit, but the parents also benefit. After each game, we actually play 4 games a night because we've got 80-some kids we have to get through. So we break them up into age groups. But after each game, we do a little bit of fellowship, and we give out drinks and snacks to the players, the buddies, the families, who's ever there cheering. And it gives those people a time to network with each other because, like you said, when Dream Catchers first started, it wasn't very well known, but by word of mouth, it's grown and grown and grown. Well, these people who come from small communities, they don't have anybody to talk to, maybe. They don't have somebody that, they have the same type of disability that my child does. Maybe I can learn some things from them. And so that's the time that these parents get to visit with each other, about concerns, just about sharing, about just being a part of something. It's really a great experience for them also.
So you've had newer facilities, you've had the growing athletes count with more volunteers coming from more places over the years. Now as you step through, I know like the summer here was kind of cut out oddly because of COVID, but when you get into the normal times, where do you want to see the future of the Dream Catchers go?
I'd like to see the program keep growing and growing now that we've got this beautiful place to play. We may end up having to grow into 2 nights instead of we just usually play Thursday nights. We play a 6 o'clock game, a 6:45, 7:30, 8:15. So it's bang, 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 back to back. It would be nice as the numbers get bigger to be able to add an additional night, but adding an additional night means doubling the number of volunteers that you have. So I think just getting the word out for volunteers to help out different groups, that would be important. And then also just to keep the numbers growing. I love having these kids come from these small communities.
And that's going to be from the Minot Dream Catchers Facebook page is where everybody can rush to for that kind of thing. Besides just playing, I've seen you and Aaron everywhere at all these Taurus hockey games, or like the Saber Dogs is another spot I've seen you for, like watching baseball during the summertime. Why do you guys just love going to these games so much? You're pretty big local sports fans from what I can tell.
Oh, we are. We love sports. When I was in high school, I played a lot of sports. Aaron, when he's at home watching TV, he loves the Vikings. He loves the Twins, all of those things. And so going to these all these events, he really has learned, he knows so many people out there. And so going to the events is not just watching the game, it's also a chance to visit with all these people that he knows. People will come up and talk to him, and I don't even know who they are, but they know Aaron, and Aaron knows them. And Aaron's so approachable, and he's so happy, and he's just easy to get along with. And he's the kind of person you just want by your side because he's got such a positive vibe to him all the time. Mm-hmm. And I think that's part of why he knows so many people. A lot of these kids in sports, he knows them. And so he wants to go and support and help and cheer. And he's just as much of a people watcher as anybody else. So going to the games, visiting with people, that's what Aaron's all about.
If you had to have a ballpark number or your rough guess, how many games do you think you guys have ever been to?
Oh my gosh. Oh, hundreds. It has to be hundreds. Aaron is 29 now, and we've been going since he was in elementary school. We'd be going to Minot High basketball games, football games, different things. Aaron was a Minot High graduate, so we attended a lot of the Minot High games. He is also the honorary captain for the Minotaurs, so he's gotten to know, he's sitting right here, cheering. He's gotten to know those boys on a personal level, has a pretty good connection with them. And, you know, not only is it good for Aaron to be out and just be exposed to everything he can be exposed to, it's great for the people, too, that he comes in contact with, because I think Aaron has a message to give to anybody out there. And it's, you know, appreciate your ability to play whatever game it is you're playing. It's, you know, your talent, like these kids that play toros, they are so talented. But it's more than just that. You know, it's learning life skills. It's how to get along with others. It's having some empathy, some compassion. But he feels part of a team in everything he goes to. And thank goodness to the Minot community and the students and just everybody in the community that is so good to him.
Yeah, it's awesome. And speaking of another big showing of community support, it always comes out when, like, you know, you had that classic show during the 2000s, Extreme Makeover Home Edition, and you guys were on one of those earlier episodes. What was kind of like the beginning to end experience of that like for you?
Oh, that's still amazing. We can still remember it all like it was yesterday. Back in 2006, there was a friend of mine who wrote a letter into Extreme Makeover telling about our story, telling about Aaron, his challenges, and the things that we've done to try to help him be as normal, I guess is probably not the best word, as possible. But so she started the process, and they got a hold of us. They had a couple people come out and do some interviewing with us. Then they called us and said, okay, you made it to the next round. So then there were some more people that came out and did some videotaping of us. And it actually was our wedding anniversary. It was August 19th. 18th. I don't even know what our anniversary is. 19th. Anyways, August 19th, they had told us that there were us and a couple other families that were in the finals, and they would pull up to one of our houses and the other houses would be sorry. Well, everybody was mic'd up, ready to go, and bus pulled up, and we heard, "Good morning, Bliven family," and from there it was a whirlwind. It was amazing. We left. We went on a trip to Florida. We went on a Disney cruise, came back, took a jet to Denver, and ended up, or Phoenix, and ended up going to Tim McGraw's concert, which was really cool. Aaron loves Tim McGraw.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they blindfolded us. We had no idea what was going on, and they blindfolded us and led us into wherever. It seems like we walked forever, but we got into this room. They let us take our blindfolds off, and wasn't about 5-10 minutes later, Tim McGraw walks through the door. So, as you can tell, it was quite surprising for all of us. Really a great experience. Mm-hmm. We got to go to a private concert with Tim and Faith. And then we went to a concert with just thousands and thousands of people. Next morning, we took a Learjet back to Minot, which was really interesting because Aaron's wheelchair didn't fit on the Learjet.
Dang.
Even if you tried to take it apart. So we had to leave his wheelchair there. We came home and had to use his old wheelchair, which didn't fit him at all, but we had to make do with it. And then we were blindfolded. We were driven to our house, got out of the house, just like on the TV show. The bus was between us and our home, and moved that bus, and there it was. It was so amazing. They did ask us different things like, what are you looking for Aaron and for the family? And we had mentioned that we would like a one-level house because, of course, he's in a wheelchair. We would like wide doors to make it easy to go in and out. And everything that we mentioned, they were sure to include. Each of my children had interest in different things. Like, of course, Aaron was a nut about sports. So he had to decide if he liked the Twins, the Vikings, the Dream Catchers, or the rodeo was his other activity. And he picked the rodeo. So they decorated his room in a rodeo theme. And my other son, Taylor, this is when Pirates of the Caribbean were big. And so that's what he was interested in. And his room, I'd say, was probably the neatest of anybody's. You walked into his room, and all the walls were painted like a pirate theme, and with pirates and things. You'd turn the light off and there was a black light in there. You turn the black light on, all the pirates turned into skeletons. Yeah. So it was really an amazing room. And then Kristen, she said she kind of wanted something fancy. Do you remember the word, Bill? What was it? Yeah, she wanted something fancy or elegant. That's what she said. And so her room ended up being the interior of a cruise ship. Portholes, and it's beautiful. Every single room, this whole house is amazing. Our backyard, there is a loop of bricks that kind of go in a circle around the backyard. There's a fish pond in the middle, so we have fish in the summer. And Aaron can roll around the whole backyard and be able to be everywhere. There's a fire pit and different things like that. So he can be a part of the kids having, other friends over and him being able to participate in that. Mm-hmm. So it was an amazing experience.
So like what we see on TV is like totally like legit, and how you guys felt through the whole experience, and like, is Ty Pennington like the same person when he's off the air, or what?
The person that we liked the most was Paulie. If anybody remembers the show, he was an older gentleman, but heart of gold, nicest guy, most genuine person you'd ever meet. He was part of the team, and Paige Hemis was part, and then Ty, and then there was another guy. It was his first show that he ever did. His name was Johnny, and he was responsible for the field. We didn't have the field we have now. They did upgrades to the field that we were using at the Southfield Complex. They redid the bleachers. They made a little, it looked like a baseball cap, but it was kind of an area where kids could go to get out of the sun. So that was really neat. Yeah, it was, it's what you see is what it is. And the people that did the build were Heritage Homes out of Fargo, and they were amazing. They're the actual builders that took the lead, and they've done a couple other extreme makeovers. They did one in Moorhead, and then they did one in Florida that they went to when they had some storm and a bunch of New Orleans, and a bunch of their homes were damaged. And so they went down and helped do that build. So they were really involved with Extreme Makeover.
That's awesome. So in this new layout, how much of a help was it compared to what you guys had to like help Aaron out, you know?
Yeah, like I said, the wide hallways, the wide doors, the open floor plan is amazing. I can be in the kitchen and I can see Aaron in the living room. He does have a seizure disorder, so you always have to be in sight of him in case he has a seizure. Mm-hmm. So the open floor plan was amazing. What really helped is the bathroom. The old bathroom, we'd lift Aaron in and out of the bathtub, but he started to get so long, and he started to get bigger, and it was hard to lift him in and out. Mm-hmm. And so the new one that he has, he just rolls right in. It's got a kind of a lift system. If he's laying on the bed, it lifts him up, and then we can put it either. He's got a shower, and he's got a huge full-size tub. It's actually oversized. So to be able to get him into the shower or into the bathtub was so much easier on our backs. So I think that was probably the most important things, was the open floor plan, and then the ability to bathe him was 100 times better.
How stoked was he at the big home reveal?
Little overwhelmed, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, little overwhelmed. There were a lot of people. When we came home that day and they did the reveal, there were, I don't know, thousands of people there. Neighbors across the street, they were standing on their roofs, I remember. He was a little overwhelmed with it all.
That's awesome, though. I mean, he must really love it there.
Oh, we do. We love it, yeah. I mean, we're still here, and it's been probably 14 years now. Mm-hmm. And we really haven't changed much of anything other than Taylor wanted his room changed. Of course, you grow out of Pirates of the Caribbean when you're 13, 14, it's probably cool, but when you're about 18, it's not cool anymore. And so he wanted his room painted, which just broke my heart because it was my favorite room of all. It was so unique. But he ended up picking out a color, and we did end up painting it. So other than that, that is probably the only thing that we have changed in the house.
So do they stay with you for years? Do you let Heritage hey, we're the Extreme Makeover people, do you mind, is it still affiliated with the show, or do you guys have to change it on your own?
No, we had to leave everything alone. I think for 1 year we couldn't change anything. Mm-hmm. And then after that, the contract that we had to sign with Extreme Makeover. And then after that year, then we could do anything that we wanted to do. So Heritage Homes, we still have a connection with them. We talk to them every now and then. They're great people. Extreme Makeover, we never did have any more communication with them after the show was over. Mm-hmm. We didn't hear from them anymore. That was pretty much done then.
Okay, got you. Yeah, it was just kind of an ins and outs thing. I mean, my relatable thing for the remodeling show that I always see nowadays is Bar Rescue, and you kind of they have their follow-up, and it's interesting to see if they don't completely like what they did or whatever, you know?
Uh-huh. Yeah. I guess, like my husband was saying, we did go down to Fargo or Moorhead for the Extreme Makeover down there, and we did get to see some of the, Polly and Ty and Paige. We did get to see those people at that build. So that was kind of fun. That was probably, 3 years maybe after ours was done. Mm-hmm. And what they tried to do is they tried to do a build in every state in the United States. Mm-hmm. And so we were the North Dakota one. So that was pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome. So just given all your experiences that you had with the support of being on the show and the support of the community and, doing all this sports stuff, what advice would you give when it comes to just, being a part of and leading a family that has someone with special needs? What are your kind of tips to it, and what do you hope to maybe help others and inspire them with?
I think just by taking Aaron out and taking him to as many things as we can and get him exposed and to get others exposed, to me, that's the biggest thing, is get them involved in things, take them to things just like you would with your other kids. Um, not only is it good for Aaron, but I say it 100 times, it's good for people out in the community to see someone with a disability doing all the things like Aaron is doing. They get to meet him. We love it when people come up to us and their little kids are saying, "How come he's in a wheelchair?" And the parents are going, "Shh, shh, shh, don't talk about it." And we love to talk about it. We want people to come over and we want to share, why is Aaron in a wheelchair? Why does Aaron not talk? How can Aaron be as smart as everybody else? How do you know that? And so being able to talk about it and expose as many people as you can, and answer questions, that to me is the biggest thing. That helps everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome what you guys have, done not only just within your own family, but to branch out and think of others that are having situations like you guys. I think it's great, and just really appreciate your time with sharing all this, Michelle. Thanks.
Oh, it's been so much fun. Thank you. I've been looking forward to this.
Fantastic. That's Michelle Bliven of the Minot Dream Catchers.